Trustees meeting for August 26, 2024. As we stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, beginning with a moment of silence, please remember the family of Bob Fisher, who is a longtime maintenance man for the school corporation. Way back when he was the master of all the keys. I can remember him making keys for everyone. So he passed and was buried today. So please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. Please join us in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to patrons' concerns. And at this point, I don't see anyone signed up. So we will move on to agenda item number 4, guest speaker presentation. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Walhomas. Tonight we're fortunate to have with us Perry Black and her team from Youth First. Perry is the president and CEO of Youth First, and just asked her if she could come tonight and talk a little bit about our partnership and all of the good work that Youth First does for us and assisting our families and students in Warwick County. So, Perry.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. Joining me tonight are our 2 Youth First leaders, our founder, Dr. Bill Wooten, and our board chair, Dan Hafling. Youth First and the Warwick County School Corporation have a long history together. Youth First was founded just over 26 years ago with support from a lot of community citizens who rallied around the cause, and Superintendent Jim Martin was on our founding board. So that's how far back we go, and we've had a wonderful relationship ever since with succeeding superintendents and continuing with Dr. Redmond and her team, who've been really wonderful to work with, some of whom are in the room tonight. Oh, also joining us is Ken Hall, who is Youth First Board Chair-elect. So I've given you a packet of information. Inside your packet, you'll see some basic information about Youth First and then some detailed information about what we do right here in Warwick County. So Youth First mission is to strengthen youth and families by providing evidence-based programs that promote mental health, prevent substance misuse, and maximize student success. We do that by following the best practices in prevention and also education, delivering services across 3 tiers. Doses of prevention that are good for everyone, an apple a day keeps the doctor away kind of prevention, where a little bit of education can go a long way for young people and families. And then we deliver small group support prevention. And then finally, we do one-to-one support using our mental health professionals who are embedded in schools. We have a 5-pillar model, which is also detailed in your handout. If you were to take Youth First and plant it somewhere else, I think these are the 5 key ingredients you need. First of all, a team of well-trained and supervised prevention professionals, primarily master's level social workers embedded in schools. We provide a menu of high-quality, evidence-based programs targeting youth, parents, caregivers, and the community. We do ongoing evaluations that measure results and help guide our improvements. And we have strong partnerships with schools, churches, other community agencies to make sure that the work we do is of high quality and impactful. And then finally, we have passionate, committed volunteers who act as our leaders, advocates, and fundraisers. And these 3 are here tonight represent that. We have wonderful investment in our work with our friends and supporters here in Warwick County. Our strategies are really to build caring relationships with young people, with families, with educators, to develop a readiness for making positive changes, and to develop resiliency. We are very interested and focused on reducing risk factors in the lives of young people and removing barriers to learning. And we want to build protective factors, the things that will strengthen them and support them for their future, improving those life skills. And then we promote positive social norms. On the next page, you will see the prevention programs and strategies that we provide in Warwick County, beginning with our Youth First Student Assistance Program. These are licensed mental health professionals who are specialized mentors for students and prevention coaches supporting the work of parents, caregivers, and teachers. We provide programming during the school day that reach students who have a varying range of risks. They could be coming to us because they're having attendance issues. They could be coming to us because they have home life issues. Could be coming to us because they have mental health concerns. And we're trying to build skills in those young people so that they can manage their lives and be more engaged in school. We will also make referrals to community partners so that if they need escalated support, we can make that connection more easily for the young person and families. I also want to say when we meet one-to-one with students, it's only with parental consent. So that's really important to us. It's the parent caregiver wants this kind of support for their young person. We also provide after-school programs for the whole family. We call it Family First, where parents and kids come together in the evenings for multiple sessions, and they're learning parenting skills, and the kids are learning social skills. We also support our teachers to deliver some classroom programs. One is called Owls Pals, using puppets for kindergarten and first grade, developing good social skills for the kids, and then life skills training, which is usually targeting 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and that's also building social skills and life skills in kids, the kinds of things our employers want our young people to have when they graduate from school, but also our teachers and our parents want them to have these kinds of skills to be successful. And then Youth First is privileged to be the coordinating nonprofit for Warwick County Cares, which is our local coalition that builds connections between all of us who are involved in the youth serving field. And we are delivering programs under the banner of Warwick County Cares, including the iCare Awards, which recognizes adults and youth who are involved in the lives of kids and doing great work. We also do something called positive ticketing, where school administrators and faculty are encouraged to nominate young people when they see them doing something good. And we give them a positive ticket. We send a letter home to the parents, and they get a coupon for a movie, to go see a movie, and they're just really recognizing the positive things in our young people goes such a long way. So we love doing that. We also do The Truth Is, which is a campaign to educate young people about the reality of what kids are really doing. It corrects misperceptions. A lot of young people think that everybody's using drugs or everybody's misbehaving. No, they're not. Most kids actually are making very good choices. And so we want to reinforce that with our Truth Is campaign. And then soon you'll be seeing more and more about our Talk They Hear You campaign, which is reaching out to parents and caregivers and equipping them with good talking points and skills around talking to your kids about all the things that they need to know about, the risks around social media and technology and substance use and mental health. We want parents to be armed with good talking points for their young people. The next page, you will see a summary of our services from last school year. So you will see that we reached or had access. We were accessible to 5,000 plus students in Warwick County. We had 8 Youth First mental health professionals serving 10 schools. And you'll see who is currently in those positions and which schools we're serving. I do want to recognize Kathy Baker, who was with Youth First for 18 plus years serving Castle High School, and she retired this year. It's wonderful to have a professional with that kind of longevity in one school, and I know that Kathy's Colleagues and peers at Castle High School really valued her, as did the families, and we were so honored and pleased to have Kathy on our team for so long. We have other wonderful mental health professionals. Many of those you see on this page have been with us 5+ years, and some are new faces. And we really are proud of our team and how devoted they are to their schools and to their students. You'll see below that the kinds of activities we conducted last year. 2,500 students received educational presentations, 67 teachers were served through professional development, 174 students in small groups. We provided 4,800 faculty staff consultations, so the teachers are using our team and their expertise wisely. We made 279 referrals to community resources, were involved with 1,600 parent consultations, 985 immediate need interventions. Those are just the things that pop up during the school day, and a Youth First mental health professional can be a good person to take care of that issue right then and there. We were involved in 47 crisis interventions. That's a pretty high number. I'm just going to tell you, that's a high number. Almost all of those are suicidal concerns. So these are the real issues that our young people are faced with, and I'm just so glad that there are mental health professionals in our schools that can respond and be the first responder and hopefully avert any loss of life. And then we had 400 students on our caseload or our one-to-one support throughout the school year in the schools that you see there. And on the back side, we just take a deeper dive into some of our stats. You will see more demographics, the population served on our caseload. Of those 420 students, they get most of our time and attention. We provided 5,550 individual or family sessions for those 420 students. I am happy to report that 100% of those students advanced to the next grade level or graduated. Very important, especially since these are probably more high-risk students. We also track their academic improvement, disciplinary improvement, and attendance improvement, and you will see a significant percentage of the young people with those issues improved in those areas. Now, not every student we saw had an academic issue or a discipline issue or attendance issue, but those who did. You will also see the percentage of reasons, the percentage for the reason for referral. So 42%, the largest percentage, were for mental health concerns, followed by home life concerns, academic concerns, social support, and social skills. And you'll also see who referred students to us on our caseload. 48% were teacher administrators, but over a third were parents, caregivers. And so they knew this resource was available in their building, and they contacted the mental health professional and asked that they see their child. 9% were students who self-referred. And I love that too. That means that they trust the individual in their building, they recognize that they're making a significant impact, and they can make that outreach themselves if they need additional support. You will also see the percentage of issues that the young people are facing, or what we call adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, the kind of traumatic stress in a young person's life. So on our caseload, 38% were economically disadvantaged. That means a lot were not. They had other issues. 43% of the caseload had parents who were divorced or never married. That's kind of very close to the average in society today. A third had a history of family substance abuse. That's a very typical number we see in our schools across our footprint. 30% had a history of child abuse or neglect, 29% a history of family mental illness, a quarter had a history of family domestic violence, and 5% of the 420 students on our caseload had a currently incarcerated parent. So their lives are very complicated, and we're here to support them. There is one more sheet or a couple of other things in your folder. I provided you some financials so you would appreciate what kind of investment Youth First is making, as well as the school corporation. So the total cost for all of our programs and services in Warren County is over $804,000. And the Warren County School Corporation is contributing $294,000 to the cost, especially of the mental health professionals in the building. Youth First is bringing the rest of the cost, which is over $509,000. And the way we do that is fundraise. We ask for support from donors, from citizens in Warren County, from regional or national funders. We write a lot of grants, and we have a contract with the state of Indiana through the Division of Mental Health and Addiction. The United Way brought some significant dollars to us the last 2 years, and it's fully paying, not fully paying, but close to fully paying the position that we have at Castle South. And a private funder is paying for the rest. So the school corporation didn't have to pay anything for that new position that we started last year, which is great news, and we're grateful to the United Way. So one of the ways we fundraise is we have a golf scramble coming up. So I had to include that in your packet too. Warren County Cares and Youth First are partnering to provide a golf scramble on September 27th, and the proceeds benefit both of us. So if you're a golfer or you know a golfer, we welcome, we're looking for more foursomes to join us out at Quail Crossing on September 27th. Finally, in your packet is an example of Youth First's entire footprint of service. This is the prior school year. We have not got the new school year printed yet, but I just wanted to show you where Youth First is and the size of our work and in the impact we're making. And on the inside, you will see how we measure our results. And you're welcome to look at that. If you have any questions, let us know. But again, Warren County is one of our founding partners, and we're just so grateful that we've had these 26 years together. And we thank you so much for continuing to be a part of Youth First work, and we hope that we are benefiting your students and families and educators. Thank you.
Thank you, Perry.
Is there a certain age or grade cohort that requires more services?
Fabulous question. I will let the educators make that decision. We see needs at every level. I think you all are probably aware post-COVID, there were a lot of concerns about our kindergartners, first graders, and second graders, who maybe are now becoming second, third, and fourth graders. So those kinds of things impact different cohorts, and certainly COVID had an impact. Middle school is often a time when you can really have an impact on kids, but they are having lots of peer challenges and interactions, and so middle school is a great place, but we're also honored to be at Castle High School, where we've had, I think, it had an important impact over the years. And I know that the school corporation also hires mental health professionals to serve the other schools, so they, I'm sure, are doing a great job and having an impact. We're not in all Warren County schools, but we're working together, and I hope Dr. Edmond feels like we have a really close connection to everything that's going on, so we can support one another and cross-train and make sure we're not duplicating, but all having a positive impact on kids.
And we certainly do feel that way, and I think Perry knows that we feel that way. She's just being nice.
I'll let you say it. Yeah.
Yes, we feel very fortunate to have a partnership with Youth First, and as you can see, services well needed and support that we absolutely need, and wouldn't be able to do really on our own without the partnership of Youth First, and helping us also just become better experts in that area, because they are the experts in the work, and we've learned a lot from them, and we'll continue to work together. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to agenda item number 5, consideration of routine business. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. The following routine items include approving the minutes of the school board meeting held on August 12, 2024, and approving the claims and signing the docket for August 26, 2024. I recommend the board approve the routine items as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. Mosby makes the motion. Mr. Baker seconds it. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6, consideration of items for board action. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you. In your board packet, you will find a copy of the updated policy 2435 Teacher Appreciation Grant, otherwise known as the TAG grant. Each year, the Indiana Department of Education requires school corporations to re-adopt this policy. The only changes to this policy from previous years are the dates within the policy and the removal of discussion language due to the change in Indiana law. This yearly policy update is for distribution of the Teacher Appreciation Grant monies for teachers who were highly effective or effective on their evaluation from last year and who were also employed on December 1st of 2024. Tonight, we will conduct the first reading of this updated policy. A second reading will occur at the board meeting on September 9th, at which time the board may take action. So again, literally the only change here are the dates that are highlighted in yellow, so I'm just going to read a brief summary at the bottom. The Teacher Appreciation Grant received by Warwick County School Corporation shall be allocated among and used only to pay cash stipends to all licensed teachers employed in Warwick County School Corporation classrooms who are rated as effective or as highly effective during the 2023-2024 school year and are employed by the school as of December 1st, 2024. The Warwick County School Corporation will distribute all stipends within 20 business days of the date that the Indiana Department of Education distributes the Teacher Appreciation Grant monies to the school corporation.
That was the first reading. The vote will be held at our next meeting, which is September 9th. Item 6B, consider approving revisions to the teacher handbook. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. In your board packet, Dr. Doug Gresham, Director of Human Resources, has provided you with a copy of the proposed revisions to our teacher handbook. These revisions and updates have been reviewed by and discussed with the Personnel, Custodial, and Food and Nutrition Committee. This committee cleared the document to come before the full board. I recommend the board approve the revisions to the teacher handbook as presented.
We have a motion by Mrs. Metzger, a second by Mr. Franz. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6C, Resolution 2024-10, Grant Temporary Fringe Benefit. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. In your board packet is a copy of Resolution 2024-10. This resolution once again provides a temporary fringe benefit to those employees who may not otherwise receive compensation during emergency situations or other circumstances that may cause school closings. I recommend the board approve Resolution 2024-10.
I move to approve said resolution.
We have a motion by Mrs. Glover, second by Mr. Baker. And I do want to point out, this doesn't come about very often, but we did use it during the pandemic, and it is good to have on the books. So that's something
Yes.
that we'll have all put together. Hopefully, we'll never need it.
Yeah.
But it will be there if we do. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6D, consider accepting donations. Dr. Redmond.
As always, we have a nice long list here from all of our supporters out in the community. In your board packet, you will find the following donation requests. Oakdale Elementary School, $6,500 donation from the Ace Turner Memorial Fund to be used for new playground equipment. At Tennyson Elementary, $1,399.30 from the Tennyson Alumni Banquet Fund to be used for student activities and programming. At Tecumseh High School, a $500 donation from Charles and Kimberly Young to the THS football program for scoreboard sponsorship to be used as needed. Also at Tecumseh High School, $500 donation from Black Arts Paving LLC to the THS football program for scoreboard sponsorship to be used as needed. And at Castle South Middle School, Wayne's Appliances would like to donate 3 appliances to the Castle South Middle School Functional Academics class. A Whirlpool refrigerator valued at $649.95, and a Manna washer valued at $479.95, and a Manna dryer valued at $479.95.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Baker and a second by Mr. Eigner. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, consideration of personnel recommendations. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Human Resources Office has the following business to bring before the board tonight. Agenda item A, consideration of employment support staff positions. Christopher Lampkin, a temporary program assistant at Newburgh Elementary. Brianna Fetcher, temporary program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Amanda Cook, temporary job share program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Kelsey Murray, ABS program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Francesca Ortiz, ABS program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Catherine B. Williams, temporary program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Amanda Skrakovic, temporary program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Jamie Jones, program assistant at Castle North, 2 hours a day. Echo Brooks, job share program assistant at Castle South. Cheyenne Youngblood, program assistant at Boonville High. Lacey Coley, 5.25-hour cafeteria position at Tecumseh High. Ashley Benner, 4.25-hour cafeteria position at Castle High. Rachel Cartwright, 3.5-hour cafeteria position at Newburgh Elementary. Carrie Harrison, 3.25-hour cafeteria position at John H. Castle Elementary. Ashlyn Wingy, 3.25-hour cafeteria position at John H. Castle Elementary. Kelly Yar, 6.5-hour cafeteria position at John H. Castle Elementary. Teresa Connor, 3.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle South. Cheryl Gebhard, 6.0-hour cafeteria position at Sharon Elementary. Deborah Finn, program assistant at Chandler Elementary. Jennifer English, program assistant at Newburgh Elementary.
Motion to approve support staff positions.
We have a motion by Mr. Eigner, a second by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Dr. Gresham,
Thank you.
consideration of employment.
Agenda item B, consideration of employment for Nicholas Leaf, a substitute teacher.
Have a motion by Mr. Franz, a second by Mrs. Glover. Is there any discussion?
I have a little bit, I don't remember that we've ever did consideration of appointments on substitutes in the past.
We have a board resolution that authorizes the superintendent to hire substitutes, and so we normally do that. This is an exception that we have to make tonight.
Okay.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item C, request for position change. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Amy Smith, treasurer for Warwick County School Corporation, changing title to treasurer and supervisor of payroll for Warwick County School Corporation.
I'll make a motion for that.
We have a motion by Mrs. Metzger, second by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item D, leave request. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Michelle Kemp, ag science teacher at Tecumseh High School. Carla Martin, secretary treasurer at Castle North. Samantha Blackburn, program assistant at Castle North. Melissa Lilja, program assistant at Sharon Elementary. Angel Thacker, 6.0-hour cafeteria position at Newburgh Elementary. Tricia Arn, 6.5-hour cafeteria position at Oakdale Elementary. Amber Ringwald, first grade teacher at John H. Castle Elementary. Courtney Lucy, second grade teacher at Yankeetown Elementary. Sydney Seaton, multi-categorical teacher at Yankeetown Elementary. Kylie Campbell, program assistant at Boonville High. And Holly Stevens, bus driver.
I move to approve the leave request.
We have a motion by Mrs. Glover, a second by Mr. Baker. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Dr. Gresham, report of early return.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Sarah Darnell, first grade teacher at Oakdale Elementary, has filed appropriate paperwork to return early from her leave of absence. Agenda item F, report of correction. Israel Gordon was reported at the July 22nd, 2024 board meeting as a temporary Title I teacher at Yankeetown Elementary. It should have been a permanent Title I teacher at Yankeetown Elementary. Agenda item G, transfers. Tina Nuffer, 4.75-hour cafeteria position at Castle North to 4.25-hour cafeteria position at Castle High. Amy Garrison, 4.75-hour cafeteria position at Castle North to 6.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle North. Valeria Schmitz, 5.75-hour cafeteria position at Castle North to 4.75-hour cafeteria position at Castle North. And Megan Imlay, 6.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle North to 4.25-hour cafeteria position at Castle North. And agenda item H, resignations. Amber Brown, program assistant at Newburgh Elementary, resignation effective August 8th, 2024. Alexandra Bays, program assistant at WEC, resignation effective August 15, 2024. Lacey Wyatt, program assistant at Newburgh Elementary, resignation effective August 18, 2024. Michelle Garrison, program assistant at Newburgh Elementary, resignation effective August 19, 2024. Christy Held, special education teacher at Newburgh Elementary, resignation effective September 13, 2024. And Susan Evans, program assistant at Boonville High, resignation effective September 6, 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Gresham. Another busy month. Wow. Moving on to agenda item 8, reports. Dr. Redmond.
Dr. Gresham is just going to stay put. He has an annual report that he's required to give to the board, and he's going to take care of that tonight, so I will leave it with Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Dr. Redmond. Tonight, I am going to be presenting our certified staff evaluation plan, as I do every year around this time. There we go. As it says up there, all certificated employees, which includes all teachers, all administrators, athletic directors, counselors, et cetera, have to be evaluated every year. And we have evaluation instruments that I will go over in a second here for these individuals. These are the evaluation rubrics types that we have, and this list is similar to the one that you saw last year. I do have some stars up there because those are the ones that have changed since I've become Director of Human Resources 5 years ago. So 4 years ago, we were working on the special education teachers rubric. We had a group of special education teachers appointed by the WCTA and some administrators and our special education department that were working on revising that one. 3 years ago, that one went into effect. Last year, all year, Dr. Redmond, some members of the central office staff, and our principals, some of our principals, were working to revise the principal and assistant principal rubric. And so that has been revised and will be a new rubric for our administrators this year, our building level administrators. The important item on this one is the second bullet point, where every certificated employee has to be rated as either highly effective, effective, improvement necessary, or ineffective. That's the requirement from the state. We're allowed to come up with our own rubrics as long as that's the end result. This evaluation plan is ongoing discussion with the WCTA. We discuss it really anytime there needs to be a discussion. Before the school year starts, during the summer, we have monthly collaboration meetings with the WCTA where these items can be brought up as needed. And of course, the bottom sentence is what we're doing right now. Not very often, but every now and then, a teacher has to be placed on a remediation plan. When necessary, those are a maximum of 90 days. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're only 40 or 45 days. They would be a maximum of 90 days. Typically, we get effective results from those, working with our teachers and the WCTA. This is also required by law. In the very rare case that we would have teachers rated ineffective or improvement necessary in the same building, we have to have a plan in place to make sure that a student would not get a teacher in that category rating 2 years in a row. So we have that plan in place. There is a process in the law which allows for an exception, but we haven't had to use that here in Warwick County. These next two slides discuss how many observations any veteran teacher to Warwick County who is rated as highly effective, which is most of our teachers, will have 2 short observations completed each year. Short observation is a minimum of 10 minutes, and they're usually in the 10 to 20 minute range. If a teacher is rated as effective, which is the vast majority of the rest of our teachers, then they're going to have 1 long and 1 short. Long observations are typically 40 minutes or up to an entire period, which is what they usually are. Very rarely, we do have teachers that are in improvement necessary, so they have 2 long and 2 short observations. And we haven't had an effective teacher yet, which would have 3 long and 2 short observations. Any new teacher to Warwick County is going to have a minimum of 2 long and 2 short observations, and this is regardless of the rating that they bring with them from another school corporation. If they're brand new to Warwick County, we're going to make sure we get eyes on them early and make sure that they are doing what we want to have done here in Warwick County. Are there any questions about our certified staff evaluation plan?
Dr. Gresham, how do you handle the observations? Do you schedule those, or is that, maybe walk us through that?
There are both kinds.
Okay.
It depends, it's completely up to the building level administrator.
Okay.
Some building level administrators will schedule one and then have one that's unannounced. Let's say, for instance, it's a teacher that's going to have 2 observations. Some building level administrators make them all unannounced. They don't know until the teacher shows up at the door.
And for the most part, this is always being done by the building level administrators?
Yes.
Okay.
Both the principals and assistant principals have been trained in doing the observations, collecting the evidence that goes into the observation form, and how to rate a teacher on the observation.
Gotcha.
And so with the special ed teachers in different categories, like, I think you said counselors, and I can't remember all of them, do you have specific evaluations for each of those groups?
So, if I understand your question correctly, all special education teachers use a special education teacher rubric, but we have a separate rubric for counselors, a separate rubric for media specialists, which is specific to what goes on in a media specialist job. We have a specific rubric for athletic directors to go along with athletic director job. We have a specific rubric for school psychologists, which applies to them. So we get as specific as we can for the many different job types that our teachers have.
That's exactly what I was asking. Thank you. Any other questions?
Just one other thing to point out, I really was hoping to share the new principal rubric with you at last work session, but we just ran out of time. So that's still on my notes to share with you. It was a great collaboration among, as Dr. Gresham said, a couple of our district level people, but also an assistant principal and principals were on that team, and we worked all last school year to get that ready for this year. So I'm excited to share that process with you, not just what the rubric itself looks like, but the process of what we do over the course of a year. So that is upcoming.
If I could say, so having been married to a school teacher for a long time, you know, what I find outstanding is that this process is not one where it's a got-you process, it's a growth process. And so it's about helping our teachers identify what they're doing well and where they need additional support or new skills. It's a process by which they are identified and then worked with to help develop them. So I think it's part of the reason that we have such an outstanding staff in Warwick County.
We work really hard to equip our building level principals with the tools they need to identify those areas that you're talking about and to really give intentional feedback to our teachers. And oftentimes our highly effective teachers, they're craving like, well, how can I get better? What's another way I can get better? And we want to really be able to pinpoint some things for them as well. So that is something that's definitely been a priority for us and will continue to be for us as we, work through the many years to come.
And I don't know if anybody else is interested in seeing the other rubrics, but would that be something you could share like at the next work session?
Sure.
Would anybody else, or, I mean, if you would like that, that would.
I would definitely I had already, as I said, planned to bring the principal one, but yeah, absolutely,
I happen to have
easy.
them all together in one document already. It's about 187 pages, but I could share it out.
Knock it off Saturday. No problem. Dr. Gresham, I just want to say I'm just highly encouraged, but not surprised that we haven't any ineffective teachers in our corporation. I'm just really proud of that.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Gresham.
Thank you. Other board business, we will have a personnel meeting September 9th prior to the regularly scheduled meeting, and that will be at 6:30 here in this building. And then on the 10th, we'll have our construction committee meeting, and that will be at the admin Gum Street building, and that will be at 7:30 on the 10th. Any other meetings or other things to announce?
Our Policy and Curriculum Committee will meet September 9th, 5:30 here at Central Services.
And special ed and transportation, September 4th at 8:30 at the admin building.
And I did just want to point out, the second meeting in September will actually be September 25th. That is a Wednesday because we have our ISBA state level conference on Monday and Tuesday. So the second meeting in September will be on Wednesday, September 25th.
And again, I would like to thank Youth First, Terry Black, Dr. Wooten, Mr. Haefling, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the last, Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Hall,
I
yes.
would like to thank you for your partnership and all the work you do with our students and provide for our students in Warwick County. It is quite a blessing, so and I can't believe it's been 26 years. Yes, ma'am. And we appreciate everything you do for our kids and for our schools. Thank you again. And for all of you that can play golf, get on and join the Youth First group if possible.
I'll caddy.
Hey, they need volunteers, I'm sure. All right, well, that's all I have. Does anyone else have any comments or? Okay, well, thank you very much for attending. Meeting's adjourned.